Welcome to Virginia Beach, Virginia, home to the 2022 STIHL TIMBERSPORTS U.S. National Trophy. Today, 12 elite lumberjacks will be competing for this coveted trophy in an event like no other in lumberjack competition. These athletes will have to rely on their speed, their accuracy, plus an extra measure of endurance if they want to be the one to take home the title of champion.
A big round of applause for coming out. My name is Super Dave Jewett, a nickname I received for the 25 years that I was in the STIHL TIMBERSPORTS series. I almost won it, got second place one time, but I am happy to be sitting out of this event. This U.S. Trophy event is an endurance event, back-to-back-to-back events, and what we're going to be doing is I will be addressing you throughout the day. This will also be shown live stream throughout the world on STIHL TIMBERSPORTS YouTube and STIHL TIMBERSPORTS Facebook. But for a better description of what we will see today, we're going to show a video, and here is how this competition breaks down.
The STIHL TIMBERSPORTS Trophy competition. In the trophy format, athletes have to complete 4 disciplines back-to-back. After the start, they need to cut a complete disc with the stock saw within a 10-centimeter area. From there, the athletes have to complete the underhand chop as quickly as possible. Only after they split the block can they return to the starting point, where this time the single buck is waiting for them to cut one complete cookie. In the final discipline, the athletes have to complete the standing block chop in order to achieve the best possible overall time. Any rule infraction will result in a disqualification and the athlete will be eliminated. All participants must first demonstrate their skills in the time trial. The 4 fastest go straight through to the quarterfinals, while the 5th to 12th placed athletes battle it out in the last chance round in knockout duels for the remaining quarterfinal spots. The better the athletes perform in the time trial, the easier their first elimination round will be. The athletes now continue to compete in a knockout system through the quarterfinals and semifinals. The losers of the semifinals will fight for the last podium spot in the small final. After that, the 2 winners of the semifinals will compete one more time to see who takes the title.
And the man running the show, he's been here since the beginning. Big round of applause for head judge Rich Hallett. And our North American sports director, Nathan Waterfield. Nathan took 2nd overall in the U.S. Championships. And we are going to bring out our 12 competitors, give you a brief introduction. Coming all the way from Minneapolis, Minnesota, in his 3rd year in the STIHL TIMBERSPORTS National Championships, he won it. Big round of applause for Cassidy Shear. And all the way from North Fork, California, if you've seen TimberSports on TV, you've seen the springboard. This man holds the springboard record, Nate Hodges. And from Toll House, California, got started as a Cal Poly Mustang on the chopping team. Big round of applause for Walt Page. In his 35th season in timber sports, he has won 4 overall U.S. titles. Big round of applause for Arden Koger Jr., our oldest competitor out here, and he's always going to remind us of that, right, Arden? There you go. This gentleman came out of nowhere last year, made the STIHL finals, one of the best single buckers in the world. Big round of applause from Marysville, Ohio, Grant Foreman. And from Morgantown, West Virginia, he won the STIHL TIMBERSPORTS national title in the single buck. Big hand for Josh Wilson. Pound for pound, the best athlete out here. He's gone down under. He was on the University of Tennessee woodchopping team for 3 years. From Marysville, Tennessee, Adam Lethgo. 5-time bronze medalist in the Steel Timber Sports National Series from Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, Matt Slingerland. And in 2015, this gentleman won the Steel Timber Sports Collegiate Championships from Shelby, North Carolina, Ben Nicely. One of the most fit athletes out here. Hiked the Appalachian Trail in 99 days, part of the 1% Club. I had to tell him that one, Mark Boquin. From Colden, New York, Mark Boquin. This guy is on fire, won the U.S. and the world title in the Steel Timber Sports ranks in 2021 from Diana, West Virginia, Jason Lentz. And our final competitor, 6-time Timber Sports National Champion and the current World Trophy Champion, Matthew Koger from Grafton, West Virginia. Let's give it up, ladies and gentlemen. This is our top 12 competitors. They earn the right to be here, and they're going to be entertaining you for the next 2 hours on very little rest.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you are able, please stand and remove your hats, and please face the firefighter tower as we honor America with our national anthem. All right, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the 3,000 employees of Virginia Beach Steel Incorporated, it's speed, it's power, it's precision, it's the Steel Timber Sports Trophy event. Thank you.
Has a designated helper to bring their single bucks on stage. Yesterday we had a time trial event to basically rank the 12 competitors. The top four competitors actually get a bye in the first round. So what's happening right now is called a last chance round is what we're gonna see right now. Why is it called a last chance? Well, it's single elimination. So each competitor that loses head-to-head here, the loser unfortunately is done. The winner unfortunately has to do it all over again, and they're gonna be re-ranked. But that's the beauty. The competitors that really went for it yesterday, the competitors that shined yesterday, do get a bye in this first round. So I'm going to step off the stage, and in just a moment, we will bring up Heat 1. Heat 1 in the U.S. Trophy event from Marysville, Ohio, Grant Foreman. And his opponent from Matthews, North Carolina, Ben Nicely. Grant Foreman from Marysville, Ohio on your right. I'm sorry, Grant, on your left. Stand 2 on your right will be Ben Nicely. Right now, they're just getting their single box saws set in. They are allowed a starting kerf. 30 seconds. And the saws will be put in about a 12-inch arc for safety. That allows the saw to have a safe straight cut. I mean, you're looking at $5,000 worth of saws up here right now. And it doesn't take long, but after you've cut the stock saw, after you've cut an underhand, then you have to go back and run these saws with precision. They have teeth, but they also have this cleaning raker. It's a modified tooth that cleans the chips, and if you deviate on your angle, it doesn't matter how strong you are, that raker dives in, it will stop the competitor.
Athletes ready. Stands to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Grant Foreman caught up though. Both came off identical. Look at Ben Nicely into the wood first. This man covers some real estate with each one of these blows. Grant Foreman has just come out of nowhere, like we said earlier. He's been one of the most powerful cutters. Only 3 hits behind Ben Nicely. The wood came out yesterday a little more firm than the competitors were expecting. They want to put a big front in these logs. There's Ben Nicely. The axe is in legal and safe. Now here we go to this single box saw. A couple more blows from Grant Foreman. That saw's up. Look at that. Ben Nicely is just flying. You want to use that whole saw. It is not easy to run that saw when the lactic acid is building up. Ben Nicely with about a half a block lead. And here he goes into the standing block. Grant Foreman, only about 6 hits behind, but a 6-hit front for Ben Nicely, a monstrous front. He's gonna put one more up and he might come at it. And right now, the competitors just wanna have situational awareness. Ben Nicely have enough lead. There it is, look at the slope. Oh, he's got a few more drives. This is a tough event. And you go one more hit for Grant Foreman. And Ben Nicely, getting that oxygen in. He knows he only has a few minutes to rest, and he's going to have to do it all over again. We're going to wait for the unofficial thumbs up from head judge Rich Hallett. The judges are going to look. They're having a discussion right now. If they do see something that's in question, they will check out the video review. This is coached at 120 frames per second. In my mind, I think I know what they're talking about, but it looks like everything's okay.
Gentlemen, nice job. The winner is Ben Nicely.
Talk to head judge Rich Hallett real quick so we can get the dock crew up here. In my mind, were you looking at the go on Ben Nicely in the stock saw? It looks like he was very quick to that go, or what were you talking about?
Yeah, we were looking at where he was pointing the stock saw when it was running. In our other events with a hot saw, we have pretty strict rules about pointing the saw at the crowd. For the stock saw, that's not so much of an issue, but we just wanted to talk about it and make sure we're on the same page with that.
Thanks for the explanation, Rich. There you go, big round of applause for that first heat. So much stress on the first two competitors that have to go out there. I'm going to call a Right now I'm going to call a replay to the replay monitor. And right now, what we're seeing here is Ben Nicely is a tall competitor. Again, he won the Steel Timber Sports Collegiate title. A quick turn to the backside, getting that top wood out. A lot of competitors want to get that top wood out first, cut from the top down to the bottom. That way they can see the log. You can just see the precision of Ben Nicely. Put an extra hit in the top there, round to the backside, just keeping his head down. And the axe coming right down the center line of his body. That is what we are taught. Right away getting into the underhand chop in timber sports, coaches will say keep the axe right down the center line of the body. And Ben Nicely had a little trouble getting that saw going, but once he got it going, it was on. These saws have a belly in them, and you want to exit that belly out the far side, pull it all the way out the near side. And Ben's got to be happy with this. Kept the saw level. And watch this monstrous 6-hit front he puts in. He's going to put 2 big hits up, 2 down with a ton of slope. Then he says, the heck with it, I'm going to go for it. I've got it. 6 in the front, goes around to the back. And just a huge swing. And look how loose he is, letting his body do the work. A little stick. But, you know, you can see Grant Foreman out of the corner of his eye. He says, I'm fine. I know what I'm doing. Been this sport long enough. 1 up hit to the near, break the near. And it's off. And a couple big breaths, and he's going to get ready for the next round. They don't want to have the disadvantage that the competitors had before, the advantage that the competitors had before them of a clean deck. So the deck crew is working extremely hard. And in just a moment, we are going to bring up Heat 2. Heat 2 with the U.S. trophy. Adam Lethko from Maryville, Tennessee, and from North Fork, California, Nate Hodges. So again, these competitors ran yesterday. Nate Hodges says, I'm not going to risk the feet slipping. We talked about wood chips. Nate Hodges is, it's actually Maddie Slingerland's been nice enough to lend Nate Hodges his spikes for today. So Nate's going to use spikes. He says, look, I'm a strong single bucker. He's won the world title in the single buck, but he told me, Dave, I'm not getting the advantage of my legs. I'm not able to use my whole body if I feel compromised with my footing. So Nate is wearing spikes. Some of the competitors want to use a flat-soled shoe. You can see these underhands they stand on. It is flat. Their feet move back and forth. They don't want spikes digging in. So Nate says, I feel comfortable moving on to the next round. I'm going to try out the spikes today, but we're going to step aside. I'm going to get out of the way and let these two go at it.
saws. Athletes ready.
Stands to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Hodges on your left. Left go on your right. Left go, one of the best stock sawyers in the world. And there it is. There's the advantage Left go was looking for. He got about a one-hit event, but no, Hodges is so fast, been training in high elevation in Carolinas, or in California. But we are at sea level, and Nate Hodges was telling me he feels great. And that is firm. Boy, these logs are matched. They are firm. Nate Hodges having no trouble wearing those spikes, and we're about to see why. There we go, Nate Hodges into the single buck. And look at this cut. Nate Hodges, the strongest competitor out there. Slight hang, he recovered. Here comes Adam Lethgo. Now he's into the single buck. Hodges, one more stroke, clean. Here we go, into the standing buck. Hodges, watch the strength, the slope, the accuracy, looking right into that down. Hit a slight scoop there, and he's retaking it. And he's ready to put two up. Oh, and he got it. And his fellow competitors are yelling, breathe. Look at the slab that came off of Hodges' log. Here comes Lethgo in the front. One more hit on the far side. And there you go, Nate Hodges. Something tells me he's going to wear those spikes into the next round. Adam Lethgo, a lot of competitors watch Adam. Not the largest, but he drives off the back leg, uses his hips, uses his midsection, teaches a lot of the bigger competitors how to do that technique. Oh, what a cut by Nate Hodges. Nate Hodges just found another gear. I know he wasn't happy yesterday, especially in the single buck. He said, Dave, it took me 15 seconds to cut the single buck yesterday. Something's wrong. Let's anchor in. Let's have at it. Put the spikes on. And they worked well. So a slight assist from Matt Slingerland, letting those spikes. I hope he's going to let him keep them for the next round.
Nice job, gentlemen. And the winner is Nate Hodges.
So Nate, we talked about yesterday in the time trial, you know you're a strong single bucker, but you said you just couldn't utilize your legs. And if the legs aren't working, nothing's working. You were just standing there stiff. Tell us about what it was like to use the spikes today.
Yeah, massive difference, night and day. I'm the type of single bucker I need to lock my feet in. Big improvement, so little things like that. Hope you get along through the day here.
And competing at sea level helps.
Absolutely.
There you go, Nate Hodges. He's been training at 4,500 feet back home to get ready for this event today, and I think it helped him out. Here's the replay. Adam Lethgo, again, one of the best stock sawyers. He comes off first in the stock saw, but just could not match the speed of Hodges to get into that underhand. But Adam Lethgo, again, using his whole body, was coached a lot by Mike Slingerland back in the day to get him started at the University of Tennessee. And again, Adam Lethgo just teaches a lot of the bigger competitors how to generate the most power possible. And here's Hodges on your TV left, coming off first in the underhand and over that single buck that he was snake bitten with in the time trial race, but he's dug right in with those spikes, pushing it right to the handle. A lot of competitors feel like if they're too tired, they're cautious to put the saw all the way to the handle, but again, this gentleman is so strong. Got Hodges putting the front. He scooped one in the near side, had the presence of mind to retake it. But again, a lot of competitors say just pay attention to what you're doing, but right now he knows he has a half block lead on Adam Lethgo. And why not just swing big, drive off that back leg. He's gonna miss that far hit, take it over again, catch his breath. And he got the job done again, using those spikes, and you have to take every advantage you can. But again, look at Lethgo on the right. Such a powerful competitor. Ben Nicey will go against Matthew Koger, and this race is going to be unbelievable. Nate Hodges will be racing Cassidy Shear. And while we're talking about Mother's Day, I'm going to take this chance and say happy birthday to the 2018 Women's Steel Timber Sports Champion and multiple world record holder in the underhand. Big happy birthday to Erin Lavoie out in Spokane, Washington. Probably taking care of her honeybees today, or feeding Frank the chicken, or probably training, considering the women's qualifiers are only 1 month away. But anyway, there you go, Erin Lavoie. Happy birthday. Eighth three of the U.S. Trophy event from Morgantown, West Virginia, Josh Wilson. And all the way from Toll House, California, Walt Page. Keep an eye on this race. This is going to be extremely close. I'm going to give Josh Wilson the advantage in the single. Going to need it because Walt Page is one of the best in the business. They're just putting the starting cuts in right now. Josh Wilson on the right-hand side of the stage actually has a level on his saw. Says again, there's nothing in the rules says he can't put a level up there. Make sure it is completely perpendicular. Any deviation of the plate, especially with this crosswind that we have, that plate will rattle. It'll cause more friction. Of course, you'll actually saw more surface area of the log if it is not dead straight. They have only 1 minute to prepare themselves. So every advantage they can get, they're going to go for. These saws are going to rest in the starter cut, and it won't be long.
Stands to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Josh Wilson, a slight fumble, retrieving that saw, made the recovery. But it's going to be almost dead even. Walt Page had a little stumble just setting the stock saw down, wanted to stay legal. A little extra pace by Josh Wilson. Walt Page, not his best chopping event. He just has to stay with Wilson. Page around first. And these competitors want to put a big front in. Every time they have to drive the log in the back, it just sucks energy out of them. Walt Page's got the bottom, he's got the top. This is what we expected, an extremely close race. Watch Josh Wilson in this single buck. He won the national title. And this is where Josh is going to need to take the lead because of the standing block ability of Walt Page on your left. Josh Wilson is going to be taking it off one more stroke, a slight hang. Page right with him. Here we go, hit for hit. This is going to be the closest race we've seen. Wilson V'd out. Page drove the far, drove the near. Page, in my mind, has a larger front. Page with the larger front, a slight advantage in the standing block. He's driving out of his slope. This could be an upset. One more drive, but it's Wilson. Well, we expected this, and they did not let us down. We figured this would be a close race. Wilson found another gear, and he will be moving on to the next round. Right, give a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. That was incredibly difficult. These competitors are absolutely exhausted, and Josh Wilson's going to have to do it again.
Nice job, gentlemen. And the winner is Josh Wilson.
Josh, that was awesome. You know, we all know, we all watch each other at all the competitions. Advantage single buck, but you've been known to light it up in every event. You've dominated the hot side, dominated the single buck. You just found a little more in the standing block today.
Yeah, I could tell we were real close, and I figured today's as good as day as any just to leave it all on stage, so I just let her go.
All right, we could do it another round. Rest up, buddy. There you go, Josh Wilson, winner of Heat 3. Well, I figured this would be a close heat. Both competitors a slight stumble in the stock saw, but virtually identical into the underhand chop. I thought Walt Page had the slight advantage. He put a bigger front end, but look at this. Wilson just staying in the front of that log. He knows that Page is around before him, but he puts a big bottom hit in. There's always this illusion in the underhand that you have all the wood cut out, but you can't see the bottom of the log. Both competitors with plenty of slope. You don't want to drive straight in. And look at that. They come off almost identical. Josh says, oh, no, I've got to get a lead on him. I have to get a lead on Walt Page because he's too accomplished in the standing block. Now watch Wilson on the right side. Right now he's getting a little tired. The nose is going to dip and he's going to hang. Right there. Wilson with the hang. Now Page is right with him, and Wilson has just got to reach big. Some of the best competitors will say, let the axe do the work. What does that mean? Well, it means use your whole body. It means use your legs. Drive off the back foot. If I swing with my arms, I'm going to run out of gas. 1-1 for Josh Wilson on the right of your TV right here, meaning he has 4 points. Now he's hitting those points he created. It's not coming. And look at that, one hit and a fist pump in the air. What a cut. So it looks like Josh Wilson is going to have to race Maddie Slingerland. Heat 4 of the U.S. Trophy event. Coming all the way from Springville, New York, Mark Boquin. And his opponent from Charleston, West Virginia, Arden Koger Jr. There you go. You got Arden Koger Jr. on your left side. He's been training hard for this event. We're cutting white pine today. But Arden says he's been training on chestnut oak, white oak, red oak, the hardest wood he can find to toughen up. And Arden is, I believe, 52. I think he's my age out here, the oldest competitor, but he is a fitness fanatic, owns his own law firm, so he's incredibly busy, but he says to take the stress off, I have to go train, I have to chop logs, I have to saw. And he is always, always fit. Mark Boquin, in my mind, the best single bucker in the world right now, running a KBT saw out of Tasmania, and he is making it work. Again, this guy, I love to say this, did he hike the Appalachian Trail in 99 days? It just can't be done. Part of the 1% crew to do it, but here we go.
Athletes ready. Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Arden Jr. retrieving the saw with 2 hands. Mark Boquin with a slight advantage. Mark Boquin did the one-hand grab on that saw. And he said, Dave, this race is going to be tough on me today. I have to breathe. And Arden Koger Jr. is just going for it. He's going to have to look at that turn right now. Arden Jr., one of the fastest turns in the business. Boquin right with him. And if Arden doesn't get to that single buck first, he's going to be in trouble. Boquin, again, the fastest single bucker in the business. Look at this. Boquin, 1 hit behind. Jr. is right with him, and this could be trouble for Arden Koger Jr. Boquin is coming at this single buck. Boquin, again, the strongest sawyer in the business with a slight lead on Arden Jr., and here it is, half a stroke. Jr.'s going to do what he does best, though, cutting standing blocks. And everyone's telling Mark Boquin to breathe. Arden Jr. is going to have a 1 hit up. He's going to put 1 more on the far side for safety. A big front for Arden Jr. And look at the big swing. About 4 hits behind. He's taking a slight lead on Mark Boquin. He's going to drive the near. Looks like Jr.'s got it. But Mark Boquin, let's bring him home. What a tough race. What a tough draw against Arden Koger Jr. Mark Boquin, he had a tough time yesterday, but he is just found another gear. Big round of applause for both these athletes. We're going to give Mark a moment. Feeling a little under the weather lately, but I tell you, when this guy comes back at 100%, watch out.
Nice job, gentlemen. And the winner is Arden Koger Jr.
This guy's great. He loves to talk. He's an easy interview. Is it me, or did you use a smaller axe in the underhand today, or was that just a illusion? Some of these competitors use these big 8-inch wide axes.
I'm old, Dave. I have to use small axes now. I've been doing this stuff for 35 years. Been competing in the sport for over 40. And I've lost a lot of strength. So everything gets smaller, everything gets slower. But I'm still up here with these young guys, so I'll take that.
Good job. We're going to see you in the next round. Great job, Arden Koger Jr., and especially Mark Boquin. Tough race. Yeah, both these competitors, just a slight advantage. Boquin, it was just that quick retrieval, that one-hand retrieval. And Boquin was concerned about keeping up with Arden Jr. in the underhand. But boy, did he do it. Look at the accuracy on the right side of your screen from Mark Boquin. Arden Jr., though, that speed turn. In less than a second, he makes that transition into the backside. But Mark Boquin just stayed right with him. Both these competitors keeping their head down, looking right into the cut. Now, technically, Jr. should have about a 2-stroke lead, but he hangs. Again, pulls those rakers in the small wood, in the top of the wood. Very difficult to control a 16-pound saw when it's only in 12 inches of wood. The middle of the log, that's easy. Both competitors running the saw, all the teeth on the wood. The bottom and the top's difficult. Junior, he's got to know he's got it right now. Watch him throw the axe back, twist the hips, let the axe again do the work. And now he's probably using a bigger axe in that standing block. He's going to put one more on the far side. Bo Quinn, not far away, only 2 hits behind on the turn, but right now it's just too much to reel in Arden Koger Jr. He's incredibly fit. He trains, he knows what it's like to fight through lactic acid buildup, and there it is. E5 U.S. Trophy event. Let's bring it back out from Matthews, North Carolina, Ben Nicely. And from Grafton, West Virginia, here he is, 6-time Timbersports champion and the current U.S. Trophy winner, Matt Koger. Watch the speed of a man on the left, Matthew Koger, the way he gets through these underhand chops, the way he gets through the standing block. The only variable in my mind will be the single block. Even the year Matthew won the trophy event, he struggled in the single block, left the door wide open, but he was still able to win it. Both these competitors getting their starting cuts in, taking full advantage on every inch that Rich Hallett gives them in that starting curve.
Warm up your saws. Athletes ready. Turns to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go.
Look at the speed from Matt Koger on your left. And that's giving him slight advantage, but Ben Nicely wants nothing to do it. He's going to stay right with Matt Koger. Look at the blows from Matt Koger on the left side here. And he put it nicely around first. Got a big front end. These logs are matched. And Matt Koger's had plenty of slope, driven the top, driven the bottom. And right now, he says he's going to get right into that single buck, but a little hang. This is what we thought. But now he's getting into the big one. Again, a slight hang. Ben nicely taking advantage, though. He's staying right with him. Koger, another hang. Koger, another hang. And now Nicely's going to come off first. Now we got trouble for Koger. Nicely, 2 hits ahead on the standing block. Here comes Koger. Koger staring right into it. Taking the firewood out. Koger loves to come from behind win. And look at this, Koger, a monstrous front. This is what he does best. Taking the top off nicely with a huge front, but no. What a race, though. Ben Nicely giving it everything he could. And he gives a big smile, big grin over to Matt Koger. Said, I was with you, buddy, but Matt just too strong in that standing block. A big round of applause from ladies and gentlemen. That is incredibly difficult. That's the second race for Ben Nicely. And Matt Koger, he's giving a glare. He's looking at that standing block. Matt just looked back at that single buck and he's saying, somehow I have to go faster.
Nice job, gentlemen. And the winner is Matt Koger.
Matt Koger was so fast into the stock zone. Who would have thought he was going to need that slight advantage? Ben Nicely actually makes the run way faster over to the underhand. Matt Koger, a huge swing, and he's using an 8-inch wide axe, uncommonly large axe, uncommon power with this man from West Virginia. Look at him just reaching, using his torso, takes off the top. Ben Nicely a few hits behind. Now this is the trouble. Something's going on with Matt Koger's technique in the single buck. There is a glitch. We're not sure what it is. I'm not sure Matt knows what it is. But you're going to see he's in the big wood. This should be easy. Hangs again. And he's going to hang again. Ben Nicely with incredibly smooth cut. Heels off the bottom. And he's going to get at least a 1.5 hit advantage go to the standing block. And look at the swing again of Ben Nicely. Covers an enormous amount of real estate. Probably wished he had stayed in that front. No, he stayed in that front plenty long enough. Matt Koger getting a little tired, hangs that far hit. But, boy, I'd have to look at that. That was about 5 hits in the back.
Let's go.
When we work in harmony, anything is possible.
At Ace, your backyard is right in our backyard. So when you need to feed your grass, remove the weeds, or wrangle those leaves, go to the best place that delivers on top brands like Ego, Toro, and STIHL. No warehouse store can match the convenience of your locally owned neighborhood Ace. So stop on by. You can also order online for curbside pickup or get what you need delivered today. Around the block, what you need in stock with people who know their lawn care.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Duluth Trading Company was born from generations who showed us that the only way to live life is to live it hands-on.
To do it the hard way. To take the trail untrodden. To take the damn thing apart, put it back together, and have the world be better for it.
We don't think that the go all in, dig deep, and get your hands dirty spirit exists in everybody.
We know it does. Duluth Trading. Take on life with your own 2 hands.
U.S. Trophy event. We just wrapped up round 1. We are now moving into round 2. We're going to be bringing up the next competitors in just a moment. Heat 6 from North Fork, California, Nate Hodges going up against Cassidy Shear from Minneapolis, Minnesota. Again, this is going to be a fast race. Both these competitors extremely evenly matched. Cassidy Shear, I talked to him yesterday. He said he's just been studying biomechanics. He's been working the lactic acid threshold, planning on getting through this round and going on to the next round. But watch again the enormous swing of Cassidy Shear. Watch him run this entire saw. This saw is about a 6'2". He says he thinks he needs a single buck saw that's around a 6'6". Both competitors getting their starting cuts in. This is going to be a fast race. In my mind, probably the two fittest competitors here today. Cassidy Shear just wrapped up a 50+ kilometer cross-country ski race, so this should be no problem for him.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Hodges, fast to the wood. Cassidy Shear, ear-hand-eye coordination. About a half a second behind. Look how fast they get in there. Cassidy Shear is actually winding up for that underhand even before he mounts the log. Look at the huge swing by Shear. And this is his chance now. He's about 2 hits behind Hodges right now. And when they get into this single buck, this could call the race. Look at this. Cassidy calling up. This is going to be the race right now. Hey, Hodges with the spikes, anchored in. Now he's driving the single buck. Cassidy again using 6'6" of that saw that's only 6'3". It's going to be close. Cassidy with a hang. Hodges, clean cut. Hodges 1 hit ahead. Both competitors using the same 1-and-1 pattern. Hodges has beat out a slight flat hit for Hodges. He's going to lose that. Cassidy Shear right with him. I'd say Cassidy Shear with a larger front. Cassidy Shear going to take one more, but he's going to come at it. Cassidy Shear could possibly win it. No, it's Hodges. Nate Hodges with the speed. Advantage Shear with the power, but he just could not keep up with the speed of Nate Hodges. And what a single buck cut by Hodges. Cassidy Shear with an unfortunate hang.
Nice job, gentlemen. And the winner is Nate Hodges.
And give a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, because that was an incredibly tough race. The second race for Hodges. And Nate's going to have to do it all over again. We'll find out in a second. But both these competitors, again, fast to the woods. Slight advantage by Hodges. Ear, hand, eye coordination. Look how fast he runs to that standing block. Look at the swing, though. Cassidy Shear on the left. Beautiful angle, beautiful slope. If you hit flat, the axe just will not penetrate. Hodges around first. This was Hodges' weak event a few years ago, and look at the time and the energy he has spent into it. Just so fast. That is incredibly fast. Well under 1 second per hit. And Hodges, the angle on the saw. Look at the angle of Hodges is pounding that far wood. Cassidy Shear a little more level. Cassidy's going to have a hang here. There it is right there. Now that is just taking the energy out of Cassidy Shear. Hodges, the speed is unbelievable. Tough to match anywhere in the world. Hodges hits a flat down hit right there. Bounces him back. So now he knows he's going to have to put a big scarf in the backside. Come down with slope. Again, if you lose that angle, you will not drive the wood up. And that is a plenty of slope, plenty of wood. He drove it off. Quick fist bump for Nate Hodges. And what an accomplishment taking out Cassidy Shear. Cassidy Shear, one of the best athletes in the business. So our semifinal round, Hodges is going to have to go up against Matt Koger. And that's going to be an unbelievable race. Hodges just flawless in the single buck. Koger having trouble in that single buck. Somehow Koger's going to have to solve that problem in the next half hour, how he's absolutely going to get by Hodges. See, they're just changing the wood up here. Basically, to keep these logs dead even, they've taken a 5-foot stick of wood, cut it in half, turned it around so both competitors are sawing on the exact same log. Buckle up. This is going to be a race, the Battle of West Virginia. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm jumping ahead. Here we go. From Morgantown, West Virginia, Josh Wilson. He's going to be battling from Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. Matt Slingerland. Battle of West Virginia will be the next heat. These next two heats are going to be fast. So now we are introduced to Matty Slingerland. Yeah, ow, there you go. Both competitors. Normally, I would say they're evenly strength in the single buck, but Matt Slingerland was on fire last year in this event. Basically said he was going to look to go undefeated, and Matty was incredibly close to being undefeated in the single buck. But when he gets there, after that underhand, watch the man on your left pull that saw. But we saw Josh Wilson, boy, he just found more in the single, found more in the standing. On paper, you give the advantage to Slingerland, but Wilson is just on fire today.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Matt Slingerland with a one-hand grab, but it looks like he slightly missed the throttle. All these competitors going to the underhand within a half swing of each other. Big swings by Matt Slingerland. He's been helped by Adam Lethgo in this event. Josh Wilson just will not go down. He is just hammering that underhand, staying right with Matt Slingerland. And look at that, Wilson on fire. Wilson into the single buck, pulled the saw out of the wood, but he was able to get the saw back to the wood. If Josh Wilson could push the handle to the wood, he'd be going much faster. A slight advantage, a hang by Slingerland. Wilson is right there. Wilson, 2 strokes ahead. He has to find more. Somehow, somewhere, Josh Wilson needs to find more, because here comes Matty Slingerland. Wilson with the 8-hit front. Wilson with a lead. Wilson with a 2-hit advantage. Matt Slingerland throwing everything he can. He has to find more. Wilson is going to start coming at him. This could be an upset, ladies and gentlemen. Josh Wilson with 1 more hit. Look at that. Josh Wilson. Unbelievable. Josh Wilson is just lighting on fire today. You can hear his friends, his family in the crowd. Josh is just surprised the timber sports world. He's going to be moving on.
Nice job, gentlemen. And the winner is Josh Wilson.
Yeah, that's right. Give a big round of applause. They have been training so hard. All these competitors help each other out. Matt Slingerland on your left, he helps out so many of these competitors. He hosts training camps, and it's just such a timber sports family out here. It's a shame someone has to lose these heats, but boy, you just have to applaud Josh Wilson. He's going to be moving on. And we're going to be pulling a replay right now. Josh Wilson with just a slight advantage on the underhand. I am not sure how that happened. Josh has just been training. Matt Slingerland may have taken a miss hit, but Wilson showing how he won the national title a few years back, and he's just running the whole saw. I'd like to see Matty Slingerland just push it to the handle a little more, get that belly to do some work. And Josh, with almost no hangs in the standing block, he's just looking right into that log. He's going to put an 8 or 9 hit front end, put the 8-hit front end, this 27-centimeter log. Again, 1 and 1. Then it creates these points. You put the middle of the axe right on those points. Theoretically, it should draw the axe in. I thought Slingerland would catch him. This is where technically Slingerland would outcut him, but no, Wilson drives it off with a fist skyward. Right now, the state of West Virginia is just dominating this U.S. trophy event. We still have Wilson. We still have Matt Koger. We still have his cousin, Arden Koger Jr. And we still have the big man who's about to come up, Jason Lentz. Final heat of the quarterfinal round from Charleston, West Virginia, Arden Koger Jr. And from Diana, West Virginia, Jason Lentz. Jason Lentz on the left side of your stage here. Dropped almost 20 pounds for this event. He was bulking up, telling me he was eating, quote, everything. Lost 20 pounds for this event. Felt that he just wasn't fast enough, wasn't mobile enough, but now he's down to a slim 245 pounds, and he's going to be getting this single buck saw started. This saw, Jason Lentz on your left, this is the saw. It was overnighted from Quebec, Canada, to Jason Lentz specifically for this race. And Jason Lentz qualified third at the time trials yesterday, but he was telling me he has way, way more to give.
Warm up your song. Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Both competitors smooth into the wood. Lentz with a slight advantage. Lentz put a 6-hit front into these underhands yesterday. Let's see what he's going to do today. Whether he'll go for a larger front. Looks like he's going to go for 8. The man on your left, 245 pounds, 6'6", putting an 8-hit front in. Arden Koger Jr. right with him. Again, Jr. has had to do the race already. He's had the disadvantage, and Lentz just a little more in the tank. Here's this saw that just got overnighted to Jason Lentz. Look at him throwing it all the way to the handle. Here comes Arden Koger Jr. Shorter, faster strokes. Jason Lentz, one more stroke, and there it is. And he's got about a quarter stroke lead, and look at that stock saw right between his legs, not bothering him one bit. Jason looks like he's going to put a huge 8-hit front in. Arden Jr. right into the front side of the log. Jason Lentz just so strong in this event. This is your world champion taking it off. And Arden Jr. giving it everything he has. 52 years old, what a beautiful cut though, staying right with Jason Lentz. And what a cut, our cameraman, Robert Wiley, on camera one, taking a log right in the shim. He's a tough guy. His cameramen doing a lot of hard work bringing you these shots today.
Nice job, gentlemen. And the winner is Jason Lentz.
We'll do a quick interview, Jason. I know you're using a large axe out here. You had this saw overnighted to you. How important is the equipment in this race?
It's extremely important in every race, Dave. There's a guy in Quebec, Canada, who filed that saw. He's one of 3 filers in the world, so for him to get that to me was great.
Rest up. Thanks very much. Here you go, Jason Lentz. Moving on to the next round.
All right, and ladies and gentlemen, while we have a bit of a break here, don't forget, we got food, we've got drink, we've got snow cones, we've got everything for you. Grab yourself a little refreshment as we start moving towards our semifinals and final rounds. We've got some great volunteers over here serving up some nice little treats for you this afternoon. Is everyone having a good time? Come on, you can do better than that. Is everyone having a good time? Yeah.
At Ace, your backyard is right in our backyard. So when you need to feed your grass, remove the weeds, or wrangle those leaves, go to the best place that delivers on top brands like Ego, Toro, and STIHL. No warehouse store can match the convenience of your locally owned neighborhood Ace. So stop on by. You can also order online for curbside pickup or get what you need delivered today. Around the block, what you need in stock with people who know their lawn care.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Duluth Trading Company was born from generations who showed us that the only way to live life is to live it hands-on.
To do it the hard way. To take the trail untrodden. To take the damn thing apart, put it back together, and have the world be better for it.
We don't think that the go all in, dig deep, and get your hands dirty spirit exists in everybody.
We know it does. Duluth Trading. Take on life with your own two hands.
Let's roll, let's go.
When we work in harmony, anything is possible.
Welcome back, Virginia Beach, to the U.S. Trophy event. We've gone through two rounds. We are now moving on to the semifinal round. Only 4 competitors remaining. We've got Matthew Koger, Nate Hodges, Josh Wilson, and Jason Lentz. 3 West Virginians, 1 competitor from California. Stick around. These heats are going to be coming up real quick. The winners will move on to the finals. The losers will actually have, it's called a losing heat. I hate to use that term, but that's what they wrote down here. So we're going to get the top 2, and then we're going to have the 3rd and 4th place. But unfortunately, these competitors have to go again, and then the winners and the losers have to go one more time. First heat of the semifinal round from North Fork, California, Nate Hodges. And his opponent, the reigning World Trophy winner from Grafton, West Virginia, Matthew Koger. This is going to be a close race. The speed of Nate Hodges. Can Matt Koger keep up with the hit speed of Nate Hodges? Can he keep up with the single bucking ability of Nate Hodges? Again, Koger struggled in the single buck. My prediction is that Koger will take a slight lead after the underhand, but Hodges is going to be hunting him down in that single buck. Then they're going to be going into the standing block, and they'll be incredibly close. Do not blink. The times are just getting faster with each race.
Stands to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Ogre, fast, slight lead in the stock stop, but no. Hodges catches up in the bottom third of the log. Hodges with a one-hit advantage. Here comes Matt Koger. Can he catch up with the speed of Hodges? He's got the power. This is an 8-inch wide axe the man on the left is using. Hodges with a slight lead. Hodges with a half-hit lead against Matt Koger. Matt Koger known to put a monstrous front end, and he's done it. Now this is the variable in this race. Hodges technically faster. Matt Koger with the long strokes using that Canadian saw. Nate Hodges using the Brad Turner KBT out of Tasmania. Looks like Hodges will take the advantage. This is what we expected. Hodges with an enormous hit. The 1-and-1 slapped it up. Matt Koger says, I love being behind. I find more. Matt Koger staring into it. This is a look on Koger's face. Watch Matt Koger come at it. Somehow you have to find another gear, and he's found it. Wow, that was close. Nate Hodges is smiling. He is not tired. Matt Koger happy for the win, unhappy he's going to have to go in the final round and do it all over again. We're going to let him catch his breath and hopefully get a quick interview with a man from Grafton, West Virginia.
Nice job, gentlemen. And the winner is Matt Koger.
Matt, I've been leaving you alone on the interviews today, but it's your turn now, buddy. You talk about the mechanics of swinging an axe, and you say, I'm just going to let the axe do the work for me. What does that mean?
It's really, because it's an endurance event, your arms are going to get tired. So really it's just relaxing your arms to let the axe do the work, because you can't force the axe anymore, it's going to go. So I just let the axe do all the work it needs to do.
What's going on in the single buck?
Probably just a little bit more of me than is really the saw, and just maybe just like the footing's just not quite there. So like when I run over, get set, it's just there.
We'll let you rest up. We'll let you make a mental adjustment. We'll be seeing him in the final round. Big round of applause from Grafton, West Virginia. West Virginia toughness, Matt Koger. So there's been a development, ladies and gentlemen, who just watched that last heat. There are rules that have to be followed. I'm going to get head judge Rich Hallett to bring it up, but one of the competitors was unfortunately disqualified. And as soon as we get the head judge Rich Hallett up here in a moment, we're going to get him to describe exactly what happened. But basically, you've got a center line down the deck. You compete in your own zone. You have to do the 4 events in your own zone. And we saw in Australia, one of the best competitors actually lost the race. He took off his ear protection in the heat of the moment to get to the underhand chop. Threw his ear protection. His ear protection started over there, landed right here. So the other competitor, his opponent, was going to jump up on his underhand, and he had to actually like push the ear protection out of the way. And that didn't happen today, but pretty close. All right, so it is official. I'm going to let Rich Hallett describe to you exactly what happened. What happened? Who was disqualified and why?
Yeah, so Matt Koger, we have a rule here where we don't want anything interfering with the other athlete, and when they take off their safety glasses, they need to drop them on the deck and keep them on their half of the deck. Unfortunately, Matt, while he was running down here, he dropped his glasses and they went across onto the other half of the deck. That's a clear rule violation. We did go back to the video to make sure that it actually happened during the heat, and it did. It's pretty clear on the video, so we ruled a disqualification.
Thank you, Rich. So unfortunately, that happens. This is actually the second time it's happened. It's now happened in the northern hemisphere. The first time down in Australia with the ear protection. Today, unfortunately, is the eye protection. But Nate Hodges from North Fork, California, he's back. He's going to be going into the final round. And we have one more heat in the semifinal round coming up in just a moment. Again, it will be another battle of West Virginia. From Diana, West Virginia, Jason Lentz. And on your left side, the man is just shocking us all, making it to the semifinal round from Morgantown, West Virginia, Josh Wilson. Here we go in this final semifinal round here. Josh Wilson on the left, just surprising everyone, just finding more and more in the tank. Jason Lentz thriving in this position, loves these events. 4th generation lumberjack competitor. His father, Melvin Lentz, multiple Timber Sports world champion, watching at home right now on the live feed.
Athletes ready. Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Josh Wilson just continues. And both competitors come off even. Oh, Josh Wilson just stepping off the front of that log. His momentum just carried him off. Boy, they are killing these logs. Soft wood in this semifinal round. Josh Wilson putting 1 in the bottom, but he is right with Jason Lentz. Josh Wilson throwing these big hits. Broke the top. Jason Lentz, here we go. He's going to be running that saw, running the whole thing, pulled the whole nose of the saw into the wood. Look at Jason Lentz just finding more. Jason Lentz driving it to the handle, a slight hang. And that, in my mind, is the best single buck cut. The fewest amount of strokes Lentz has cut, and he knows he's going to have to go against Nate Hodges in the final. He's just bringing it right now. A huge 8-hit front. Josh Wilson not far behind, but Jason Lentz just too strong right now. One more on the backside, and there you go. Hey, let's bring Josh Wilson home, ladies and gentlemen. And Josh is gonna have to go again. Big swings by Josh. We talked about these competitors using every muscle in the body. As Cassidy Shear would say, it's the biomechanics that you have to master. It looks like one more hit on the far side. There's Josh Wilson. A big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. They're working hard. They both have to compete again in the semifinal, the big final round, and a small final round. So we're going to be going first and second, third and fourth. Jason Lentz just taking in that oxygen.
Nice job, gentlemen. And the winner is Jason Lentz.
Well, only 2 heats left. They will be the 2 final rounds. But it's amazing the accuracy on these logs. After they have swung the axe so many times, they're exhausted, but the accuracy is still not compromised. So right now we are setting up for, it's called the small final. It's the race for third and fourth for the bronze medal. It will be between Matt Koger and Josh Wilson, a battle of the two big powerhouses from West Virginia. So we're just setting up, making sure the logs are even. They're gonna be setting in their single buck saws. But again, these competitors are exhausted. The lactic acid is building up. But Matt Koger, he talked to me earlier. He said, I don't see this race as back-to-back-to-back event. He said, I see it in stages. Stage 1, cut a stock saw. Stage 2, cut an underhand. Stage 3, cut a single buck. Stage 4, cut the standing block. If you think of them all at once, it's mentally overwhelming. And he said, I actually like the jog from the stock side of the underhand. It gives me a moment to refresh, to get some oxygen in, and just absolutely reset and cut an underhand. But I've done these endurance events before. They are so difficult if you think of every event. You think about that single buck and that final standing block. So Matt Koger, I'm gonna give Matt Koger a slight mental advantage in this next heat. But again, Josh Wilson from West Virginia, he has just shined today. I always say, he's found another gear. Matt Bush, ex-Timber Sports champion, referring to these endurance events, he would always say, you have to find another gear. And boy, Josh Wilson, he found it today. So by the rules, we're following the rules. Sometimes the rules work in your advantage, sometimes they don't. Right now, the rules say, actually, we're gonna let Nathan Waterfield describe what's going on, why we are allowing Josh Wilson a minute or two to rest.
Per the international rules, every athlete is required to have a minimum of 7 minutes of rest between each discipline. It's the most fair way that we can ensure that one athlete isn't forced to go before he's really safely able to compete again. So 7 minutes is the international standard. Josh just finished. We're making sure he gets that amount of time, and that's that.
Thanks, Nathan. Here we go, the battle for third and fourth place from Morgantown, West Virginia, Josh Wilson. And six-time Timber Sports National Champion. Let's give another big round of applause from Grafton, West Virginia, Matthew Koger. And look at the axes that they are bringing out. These are $650 a piece axes. They're made in Australia, they're made in New Zealand. Each competitor will own 15 to 20 of these axes. They'll bring them out for different wood, different events. And Matt Koger, unfortunately, after that disqualification, he was grinning back there. He's talking with Josh Wilson at the end of the day. All his competitors are friends. This is going to be, they're going to have fun with this race. I can tell you, Matt Koger, he was grinning. He's had some bad luck in the past where he's winning the event up until the last 100th of a second and something goes wrong, or one of the best sportsmen out here. So this is going to be a fast race among two friends.
Warm up your saw. Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Here we go to Battle of West Virginia. Matt Coger taking a thick disc in that stock saw. And boy, he just smoked that. Matt Coger is off on a mission. This is not just a chop. This is a statement by Coger. Look at the turn into the backside. Matt Coger is just tearing this off. This is a whole nother man we are seeing right now. Let's see if he's straightened out that single buck. And if he just reaches to the handle, now he's figured that saw out. Josh Wilson only a few hits behind. Matt Coger is looking for the fastest time of the weekend. One more stroke. Look at this man. Let's cheer him on. Matt Coger. If you could see the look in his face, this is pure anger. This is absolutely a man on a mission, blowing half the log off. Matt Coger putting one up. He's going to put one more up, and he's going to have at it. Matt Coger with the fastest time of the weekend. What a cut. What a cut by Matt Coger. Potentially a world record. That is the fastest time we have seen in the world all season. 2 fists skyward. Matt Coger proving a point. Let's bring Josh Wilson home. He's going to take 4th place overall. Josh Wilson just came out of nowhere today, and he laid down some of the best cuts we have ever seen. 4 beautiful disciplines. And Josh Wilson just swinging that axe. And he knows they're going to be able to take a breath, and they're going to be able to watch a couple of their buddies going to the final round. But Matt Coger, holy cow, do I have to have a chat with him. Big round of applause for Josh Wilson dropping that axe. He says, I'm done. Well, that was unbelievable. What a show Matt Coger just put on. You knew something special was going to happen. He was waiting back there. He was chomping at the bit to be brought up on stage. And yeah, I know the judges, they're saying, yeah, Matt's safety glasses are halfway to the Virginia beach right now, and they're still going, here they are. But Matt threw them in the right direction to make sure they were out of his way.
Nice job, gentlemen. And the winner is Matt Coger.
That was awesome. I can't wait to do this interview. This is the best interview I think we've ever done, Matt. You know, we talked about how you look at this in stages, at stage 1, stage 2. I don't want to look at it as a whole race. You looked at this as an absolute mission, not just a win, an absolute statement to the timber sports world.
Yeah, that's kind of was the goal this time. You know, the wood was there. Thanks to the Granite State crew for getting the good wood. And no, it's just a fantastic time to bring out the good hits.
Well, I'm glad your ear protection is out, because I got some good news to tell you, buddy. That's a world record cut. Give it up for Matt Coger. You're not leaving yet. You're bleeding a little bit, a slight flesh wound. You've been there before, it's no big deal. Tell us how you feel.
I'm just so elated. Thank God for the opportunity to be here on the stage. Thanks to my family for coming out. And yeah, all the glory to God there.
All right, big round of applause. We're going to be seeing more of him in the National Championships qualifier start in just a few weeks. Great job, Matt. World record. Big round of applause for the world record holder, Matt Coger. Now let's look at this replay right here. Matt taking advantage. That's the biggest advantage we've seen in the stock saw. And Matt just tearing into this underhand. We knew something was going to happen. Had a pile of slope. 8 hits in the front. Well faster than 1 hit per second. His head down, and he just starts driving this off. And look at the speed to the single buck. This is going to be his best single buck, and he's just found more, boys. He focused, and you could just see the look in Matt Koger's eyes. Look at him pushing the handle right to the wood, letting the belly of the saw, not just the teeth, but the belly of the saw work, and he dropped that saw right as the disc came down. No hangs. He's going to put 8 hits in the front, 2 more down, 2 monstrous hits up, driving with the back leg, around to the backside, and this is huge. He puts 1 down, 1 more up, and then just drives far, drives near, and here comes the fist pump. He loves it. Matt Koger, what a champ.
Duluth Trading Company was born from generations who showed us that the only way to live life is to live it hands-on.
To do it the hard way. To take the trail untrodden. To take the damn thing apart, put it back together, and have the world be better for it.
We don't think that the go all in, dig deep, and get your hands dirty spirit exists in everybody.
We know it does. Duluth Trading. Take on life with your own 2 hands.
Let's roll, let's go.
When we work in harmony, anything is possible.
At Ace, your backyard is right in our backyard. So when you need to feed your grass, remove the weeds, or wrangle those leaves, go to the best place that delivers on top brands like Ego, Toro, and STIHL. No warehouse store can match the convenience of your locally owned neighborhood Ace. So stop on by. You can also order online for curbside pickup or get what you need delivered today. Around the block, what you need in stock with people who know their lawn care.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Thanks for sticking with us, Virginia Beach. Only one heat remaining in this U.S. trophy race, and it is the gold medal round. It's going to be an East-West Coast battle. We're going to have a gentleman from California going against the big man from West Virginia. I'm going to step off the stage. They're going to be coming up here in just a second. This is the final heat. You got to cheer loud. They've been working for you all day. Very little rest. They're drinking water. They're getting that lactic acid out. And I tell you what, we just saw a world record, but it's not over yet. One of these gentlemen might not be just going for the win, but going to take Matt Koger down in that record just one moment away. Final heat in the U.S. Trophy event from Diana, West Virginia. 245 pounds, Jason Lentz. And all the way from North Fork, California, Nate Hodges. Two of the strongest men in this final round. Nate Hodges, in his first debut in U.S. Timbersports, he took 2nd overall. He broke the springboard world record. This Nate Hodges has so much in the tank. And just watch, see what happens. Jason Lentz, though, an opportunity to keep the streak going. Wins the U.S. national title last year. Wins the world title. An opportunity to win the U.S. trophy event.
Warm up your saw. Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Both competitors clean into the wood. Both straight cuts. Nate Hodges continues the streak into the wood first. Nate Hodges with a one-hit lead. Nate Hodges with the speed. Can Lentz keep up with the speed? Nate Hodges looks like he's put one hit in the bottom, took another hit in the bottom. Here comes Lentz, though, on the right side of your stage. Lentz has to find more. Can Lentz keep up with the speed of Hodges? Lentz broke the top, broke the middle, and he's driving the bottom. Hodges is into the single buck. Lentz lost a second on that hit. Lentz needs to find more in the single buck. Hodges is just coming with speed. And look at the determination from the man from California. A hang! The man from California is now on. Jason Lentz into the standing block first. Jason Lentz with a 2-hit lead. Jason reaching for the far wood. He's going to put 2 more down. And a big 8-hit front. Can Hodges match the power of Lentz? Now Lentz into the backside. Lentz with the speed. Hodges with the power. Lentz driving it off, and he's done it. Lentz has done it. He's won the U.S. championship. He's won the world championships. Now he has won the U.S. trophy event. Boy, unbelievable. We are going to wait for the official word, though, from head judge Rich Hallett. Jason Lentz just catching his breath, and that's the loudest I've ever heard him celebrate. One more time, guys. These guys are exhausted.
Nice job, gentlemen. And the winner is your next champion, Jason Lentz.
Get over here, big guy. It looks like losing that 20 pounds helped you out. You said you literally said, I felt sluggish. I didn't feel like I had the speed. Slimmed down to 245, and you just had the speed. You had the drive, the determination. You just found more in the tank.
Yeah, it's a lot to do with working, Dave. Have a strenuous job, working 40 hours a week. Don't really get much time to train, but try to eat right. And yeah, I worked hard.
You're a 4th-generation lumberjack competitor. Your father, Mel Lentz, he's won the STIHL Timbersports Series multiple times. We know you're watching at home, Melvin. Anything you want to say to your dad?
Yeah, Dad, thanks for the genetics. Grandpa, great-grandpa, love all you guys.
All right, congratulations. One more big round of applause for all the competitors today. There is your U.S. trophy champion, Jason Lentz. Stick around, ladies and gentlemen. Just in a few moments, we're going to bring the competitors back up on stage and have an awards ceremony. They'd love to hear your applause one more time. We're going to call a quick replay of that final round. Here comes this gold medal round replay. Hodges just got faster and faster in the stock, so he's going to take a slight advantage here. Lentz not far behind, but look at Hodges, that ear-hand-eye coordination. Now that slight advantage, and he's fast, it's going to give him about a 1-hit advantage going into this underhand. But Jason Lentz, he put a 6-hit front in his qualifier, decided let's not chance it, let's go for the big 8-hit front. Hodges, you can look at his log, he's left some at the bottom. Hodges left a little bit of wood at the bottom. That's gonna haunt him in the back. Jason Lentz breaks the top on the right hand of your screen, but Hodges just blows through it, just pure power. Lentz is now 2 to 3 strokes behind. Now he has to use the whole saw. Again, here's the saw shipped to him overnight in the big wood, and Lentz just gains ground. Hodges is gonna hang. There's the hang by Hodges on the push. And that is gonna give Jason Lentz the opportunity, and he was not going to lose this event. Putting a big 8-hit front, 2 monstrous hits up, and Jason knows he's got it. When he puts a front in, it is way farther than halfway. Take another look at this gold medal round replay. Just a moment. And there it is, Nate Hodges with a slight hang. And that, again, just takes all the energy out of you. You cannot give Lentz a lead. Lentz with this huge front in that log, and he's prepared for this moment. Has a chip right in front of his front foot, not bothering him, but he has so much slope and just drives that off. And look at the celebration. You could just hear him shaking the stage. Jason Lentz bringing home his first U.S. trophy win.
Ladies and gentlemen, our award ceremony will start. First of all, I want to thank our head judge, Rich Hallett, and our sports director, Nathan Waterfield, for their work here today. And without further ado, we'd like to introduce in third place, and world record holder, Mr. Matt Koger. Going on. And in second place, he gave us a great show. He was right there at the end, Mr. Nate Hodges. And in first place, your U.S. Steel Timber Sports Trophy champion, and on his way to Vienna, Austria to represent the United States of America, Mr. Jason Letts! Let's give it up for these guys, your U.S. top athletes in the trophy, Virginia Beach. Congratulations, gentlemen. Well done. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our competition. We're going to go ahead and get cleaned up. We've got Celeste Kellogg coming in a concert for you here in about an hour. Get some food, get some drink, grab yourself a good spot. If you'd like some autographs, meet us over here on the right-hand side of the stage and meet these athletes. But again, your U.S. trophy top 3. Congratulations, Virginia Beach. Thank you on behalf of all the employees at Steel. We build in America because we believe in America. We love you, Virginia Beach. Take care.